What's going on, everybody? Coach Jay back in the car doing another one of these quick videos. I recently watched back the Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez fight, so I just want to throw my 2 cents in, see what you guys think, what's your viewpoint on it. So the fight itself, unification match for the lightweight lightweight division. And, the young gunner in Shakur Stevenson against Oscar Valdez, the kind of mid-level veteran, more experienced fighter. So Shakur Stevenson was, for the most part, wasn't in much danger at all in most of the fight. So he really controlled the pace of the fight, how it went. He was the taller, rangier fighter. We know he was going to be the slicker fighter as well. So he played the part. He did exactly what we would expect him to do. And so it was going to be on Oscar Valdez to try and crack the code. And so the only way most people would have seen him cracking the code was to get to the body, work inside. And he had very, very limited success in that. And the reason why it was limited because Shakur didn't stay there long enough for it to matter. You could hear the ESPN commentators, really screaming for Oscar to really get in there and let it, just put it all on the line, go out on the shield and just let his hands go on the inside. But I think, from the point of view of a fighter, he couldn't get off enough shots outside and he didn't get enough shots off inside. Because the thing about getting inside on a guy like Shakur Stevenson, who's going to manage the range and make it risky to get inside in the first place, you got to throw more than one punch at a time. It's got to be 2, 3, and 4 almost at all times. And that's a hard pace to keep up. So you're almost giving away, moments to just jab. And sometimes those are your best opportunities to recover, So it looks like you're having a lull in between those 2, 3s, and 4s because you don't have 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, stuff like that. So it's hard, it's hard. If that was going to be the way he was going to win, it was going to be a hard way to win. And you got to set that tone early, so you got to get Shakur moving back a lot because Shakur can move and he can fight going backwards. But if you're going to predict the way he's not going to be at his best, you're going to want him to be on his back foot and not being able to sit down on combination punches right in front of you. A lot of times Oscar was kind of standing in one spot, letting too many punches kind of get through his high guard. And that's a way to just let him pile up points and look good, And that's a mistake you make trying to just kind of shield yourself up and let punches, take punches to give punches. You probably don't want to do that. You probably want to move into the right spot to give punches, not take the punches first. Move in the right spot. Be out of range, completely out of range, then walk yourself into range when he's not really expecting you to, if possible, and then get off 2, 3, 4 shots at a time, And I think that's a mistake that a lot of fighters who are the shorter, not as rangy fighter against their opponents is approaching it that way, that they have to just take punches. But no, you got to use distractions either with your legs or your hands to create, a reason for your opponent to maybe throw a punch so you can get in between those punches. You got to punch in between their shots. And listen, Shakur is a master boxer. At 24 years old, he's a master boxer, and he did not let much danger happen to him. That's the way he fights. He fights like this at 24. I can imagine what the end of his career is going to look like, as he, gets stronger, and has more, maybe a little bit more power to add to that. But honestly, you don't need it. If you're outscoring guys this well, why do you need that much power? At the end of the day, it's about winning fights and doing it in an exciting way, whether you knock a guy out or not. And he does that. He's beating guys, He's taking them to school. He's being, he's giving a class session on how to box. So if you're a young fighter out there and you're starting out, you want to fight like Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? You want to fight like Shakur Stevenson. He's the guy you should be modeling. Not just, taking punches and this and that. Taking the least amount of damage and inflicting the most amount of damage and scoring and looking good, right? Technical savvy and ability. That's what you want. So great fight. I enjoyed it. I'm going to watch it 2 more times. And if I got anything else to talk about, I'll let you know. All right. Peace. Talk to you on the next one.